welcome to Impact 2023, our continuing conversation where we talk about all different types of topics, current events, race, religion, anything that you want to talk about. And as always, we call this a continuing conversation. That means you have the opportunity to type your questions and your comment into the comment section because this is a conversation that goes back and forth. And so I talk, and you can talk as well with your fingers, with your comments into the comment section, whether you're looking at YouTube or Facebook. And as they pop up, we will address them. And so here's your opportunity to join into the conversation. And so we want to get right at it, get right to the conversation. It is the end of November, the 28th. And what we just experienced was Thanksgiving. And as everybody knows already, Thanksgiving is a time where here in the United States, we celebrate. From a historical standpoint, some people celebrate when the Pilgrims came and they had their meal. Depending on who you talk to, some people say that the original Americans, the Native Americans, they had a meal with the Pilgrims. Many people have debunked that and said that was plain false. But that's the nice little narrative for why we have Thanksgiving. Now that's what some people celebrate. Most of us celebrate family together and being thankful in general. It has nothing to do with the genesis of why we had Thanksgiving, but we have our own kind of, this is what Thanksgiving is. This is why we celebrate. We got the time off anyway. We come together with family and we come together with friends. And so that is the holiday that we celebrate. And hopefully everybody had a good holiday. We eat a lot of food. We meet with family. We go out there and we watch sporting events together, whether you like it or not. Some people, they take that opportunity to get themselves ready for their shopping, or it is this sign that the fall is winding up and done and it's time for the next season of Christmas. That's when people put up a lot of their decorations on the very next day on Black Friday and all that kind of stuff. And so that's the holiday all mixed into one. And as I was sitting there at Thanksgiving, I was talking to some people as well. That's usually where most of this stuff comes from, conversations. And it came down to, what does Thanksgiving represent for most folk or for them? And most people said the same thing of what we just said, family, friends, all that sort of thing. And then there's a parallel that people draw. Because the holiday season includes, all right, you have this meal on Thanksgiving where you're supposed to come together as family. And then you have another meal on Christmas where you come together as families. And they bring the parallel together of coming together in meals and the opportunity for family to come together. And so what are we talking about today? Just that. The importance of coming together. Now, ironically, when I thought about, and when I was with my family, I thought about the fact of what is the difference between, when I was growing up, there was really no difference between Thanksgiving and Sunday dinner. And Sunday dinner, when I was young, oftentimes consisted of myself and my family going up to what we call the country, my grandmother's house, and you would have a bunch of people and they would just be eating dinner Sunday after church. And there was really no difference between Sunday dinner and Thanksgiving. Because on Sunday dinner, we all got together, we had a whole bunch of different things, and we gave thanks. We were thankful. We prayed. On Thanksgiving, we got together. We were thankful and we prayed. And so there wasn't a big deal to me of Thanksgiving. The only difference is you might have a couple of more, food items, or maybe you'd have cranberries because you didn't have that on a regular Sunday dinner. And I think that was important in my life. And so I dare say when I was talking with other people that I think that especially for people who are believe in family, so not just Christians, but anybody who believes in family and the value of family, I think that for all of us, Thanksgiving should not be such a big deal in the sense of it should be multiple times during the year that we come together with family and friends to sit down Not necessarily you have to eat, but you probably should eat because that's what we do as people. But an opportunity to come together more often, and it should become routine. It shouldn't become a special thing. If Thanksgiving is the only time that you get together with family, is the only time that you see some of this extended family, I think that is a sign of a little bit of a problem. Um, and as we've gotten more separate as a society, those are some of the problems that we have. It should not take a special holiday to come together as family and friends. It doesn't necessarily have to be how it was when I was growing up, but I think it should be, Sunday dinner. That should be something that you routinely get together. As the church, this Sunday begins Advent, the time we celebrate the coming of Christ. Advent is also the beginning of the church year. Yeah, that's a good point to bring out that this is the beginning of the season of Advent. This is the Christmas season, and as we said again, the beginning of the church year. And what's interesting about that, and you sit back and you think about again a lot of the holidays, a lot of the big things. It's all around family getting together. It's oftentimes about a meal, and that's cultural. When we're looking at Middle Eastern culture or some older cultures, big meals were a thing that was always around. But then you look at Easter, you look at the Last Supper, you look at the imagery that we continuously have about family and getting together and having opportunities to sit down with one another. And so I think that the importance of that oftentimes gets overlooked. I think the importance of that oftentimes gets pushed to the side. Sometimes we allow people to sit back and say things like, I'm not really all that cool with my family, so we don't really get together like that. And unfortunately, that's oftentimes a sign of issues and problems. I've said this before, and I'll bring it up again. We have the program here, Step Beyond, where we oftentimes are helping people who are, working homeless, working poor, in that situation where you have a job, you're trying to make money, but you just don't have enough to make ends meet in order to have a place to live or sustain a place to live. So you live in places like hotels, you live in places that you shouldn't be raising your family in. You live in places that aren't really good. You're in and out of living out of cars, and again, different spots like that. When we bring people in, one of the first questions we ask is, "Where's your family? Do you have any family? Do you have any family local? What's going on?" And oftentimes, what we find is we have people who have family right here in town, not that far away, but there's a fracture there. And that fracture then sends you along a bad path. Oftentimes when we see people in situations, they have family right around. They have, people that they are connected to, not necessarily have a lot of friends that are around. And so you look at the scenarios. We look at what we should be doing: Thanksgiving, Sunday dinner, the Last Supper, holiday dinners, getting together as family and friends and as community. And then you look at the people who sometimes get themselves in trouble, and you see that they've fractured away from the community. They've fractured away from their family, for whatever reason. Sometimes there's very good reasons. You got some past trauma and some past issues, or you got people in your family who just, don't want to deal with you, or your package isn't good. So they may like you, but they don't like your partner. They may like you, but they don't like but your kids are too much to handle. Or you got too many kids for them to handle, or whatever. But your family can't help you, whatever the reason is. But as Christians, as a church, as people in general, we notice that I think we notice that there was a constant reminder, whether on Sunday, whether looking into the Bible, on Thursday, hopefully if you're in Bible study, there's a constant reminder about family. There's a constant reminder about community and getting together. And we see that sometimes the fracture of that then can lead us into some troubling situations. Depression. Usually depression comes around, or not usually, oftentimes depression can come around to some people when they're by themselves. Now, depression, you can be with people and still be depressed, but depression sometimes comes while you're by yourself, especially as you get older. That's why they say you got to have some kind of companion, whether it be a person, whether it be an animal, whether it be, just somebody who you can communicate with just often. You live in a community of other people, but you aren't built to be alone, and it's a reminder of that. And so when I think the holidays, I think our job. And again, you can tell me if you feel different. I think our job as Christians is to is to make the holidays less special. Not like Jehovah's Witness where they don't celebrate any holidays. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is we should get together so much, so often. We should be able to show love to each other and thankfulness to each other and just genuine and good times to each other, that these holidays are just, it's a holiday, but it's no different than any other time. So like for me, when I was growing up, at the end of the day, Thanksgiving and Christmas was no different. And Christmas was a little different because there was presents, but there really honestly was no different than going up to Sunday dinner. Whether it's Sunday dinner or whether it's Thanksgiving, we're going to do the exact same stuff with the exact same people. And the only difference is maybe we might have cranberry sauce. And I think that's our job as the church. We've surprisingly, when I thought about this, I was like, surprisingly, we've done a really good job here at Amani doing that, where we make sure that at the end of the day, your Thanksgiving dinner, we had our pre-Thanksgiving dinner, but shoot, the month before we had something that was just as similar. And so you're sitting back, if somebody came around to any of our functions or came around and saw us, they'll be like, well, yeah, y'all got together for Thanksgiving, but you just gotten together, last month, and you pretty much got together the month before that. So y'all are doing this all the time. So it's really not that special. These holidays aren't that special. And that's what we should be, because getting together should be a routine and not something special. The holidays, got a comment. The holidays should be a time when extended family who live far away should get together. Families who are close by should get together regularly, not just holidays, not just on holidays. And that right there, that's what it is. I mean, if it's going to be anything special, it should be that somebody from far away came in. And honestly, that shouldn't even be only for the holidays. It can't be all the time, maybe, but it shouldn't be just for the holidays. And so there has to be a commitment, I think, amongst us all to make the holidays. I think our goal should be to make the holidays less special. We talk about it when it comes to giving. If for all y'all who don't know, this is Giving Tuesday. Giving Tuesday is a day, national day throughout the year. So really a corporate day where people are just going to give. And a lot of companies, if you're giving, a company will match your giving. Or if you're giving to a certain organization, that organization has other companies and everything that will match your giving or can double your giving. So this is a day when they just set aside and they tell people, all right, this is Giving Tuesday. Once a year, we want everybody to give all you can give, and we're going to match it. I was on my cell phone and something popped up where it said, if you click this button, we're going to give extra money. You don't have to do anything. You just click this button and we're giving extra money to Feed More, one of the organizations that feeds people throughout the country. And so I clicked the button, of course. It didn't cost me anything. It was an opportunity. But it was a special holiday or a special event. And really, it shouldn't be that we have to wait for a special event for things like that. We need to make stuff regular. So the same way that we decide, all right, during Christmas, we want to, give away a ham and give away a turkey, as the saying goes, as it's always said here, people eat all during the year. We need to make stuff less special. We need to make it so routine that we get together with our families and friends, that when the holidays come around, it's not a big deal. Holiday anxiety, that people have, the holiday depression that people have. Oh, they get depressed because they got to get around with family, or they got to do all of this and all these different things. If you've been doing this all year long, if you've been building relationships all year long, if we've been doing what we're supposed to do all year long, then when this comes around, that anxiety shouldn't be there, because it's nothing special and nothing different. And that's what I'm really trying to just hammer home. I think it's a responsibility of us to make sure that the holidays are nothing special and nothing different, because we're doing it all the time. Church families should spend time together often. In Acts, it teaches us that the people came together. Yeah. Oh, there's another comment. Family should get together more than just at the repast. And that's true. Because the thing we always say is it shouldn't take somebody dying for us to get together. And that's a common thing. And that's people who are local with you. And when I say local, it could be somebody that lives an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours away. You still local. It should not take a funeral for you to, hang out or come around, or at least nowadays get a phone call, an extended phone call. I called myself doing better this year. I was like, I'm gonna do better this year. I'm gonna go out here and I'm gonna send people some texts. And so I set aside some days where I just texted everybody. I texted friends from college. I texted family members that I hadn't talked to in a long time. I just went through and I was texting everybody. And I was like, I'm going to be responsible for getting in contact, with people and being just a better friend, better family member, better whatever. That was a low bar. Sending somebody a text is nothing. It was a big deal for me, a big lift for me. But I can't be proud of myself for doing that because that big lift was pretty low bar. And so I need to be calling people. I need to be talking to you. I need to hear your voice. I need to make a better effort than just sending a little text message and just, hey, what's going on? We should get together. How you doing? Blah, 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 blah. No, I need to talk to you. I need to see what's going on. Tell you what's going on with me. Making sure I know what's going on with you. Making sure that our relationship is built and is good. That's the extra effort that I realized I needed to take. So as much as I was, yeah, man, I texted all these people. I mean, I'm talking about some people. I think the list was, for me, it's going to sound small to some folks, but I texted between 20 to 30 people, just checking on them, seeing how they were doing. I can make them phone calls. I got to be able to set aside that time, set aside that effort to make sure that I build relationships because that's what we're supposed to do. And so again, that's the whole point today is, yes, we've had Thanksgiving. Yes, we've had Christmas. I think those are very important to have those holidays. It's a very important reminder. But again, it should not be the first time, the only time that we get together with other people. This should not be the only time during the year that we're thinking about giving. This should not be the only time during the year that we're thinking about, helping others. It should be so routine that when these holidays come around for Thanksgiving, we can just be like, well, it's everybody else now can join and do what we've been doing all year. When it comes to Christmas, we can focus in on actually what the season is about, what the holiday is about, Jesus Christ, Advent, instead of sitting back and saying, oh, yeah, well, it's about getting together, blah, 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 blah. No. We get together all the time. And this is just another time and another opportunity to get together. And so I think that is I'll say that is my challenge to myself and whoever else wants to join in, is to make sure that, again, the holidays, as a Christian, as a family person, as a Christian, these holidays should not be that big if we're doing the things that we're supposed to do. And so that is the challenge, that making it so that all during the year I can say I'm doing these things. All during the year I can say I've taken my opportunities to sit down with somebody, have a meal with somebody, family, friend, and extended family, whoever. And so that I've been doing it all year. And I think that's my challenge to myself, and whoever else wants to join that challenge, I think that'll be good as well. And so that's where we are today. That's it. So just as a reminder on the holidays, just give you something to think about, something to chew on, something to aspire for going forward. So as we come down to closer to the end of the year, 1 month left, we will still be here, Impact 2023. But I do want to thank everybody who's been checking in on us, been a part of this, been doing comments, been watching and viewing in whatever capacity been doing all year. But I just wanted to highlight that we will still be here. Just because it's a holiday doesn't mean that we're going to holiday out. Fortunately, when the holidays come around, we have more opportunity to have guests because they have some free time and they're freed up and they get some opportunity to come on here and lend their voice and their opinions. Given Zoom and other apps, people have no excuse to spend time together. Absolutely. Absolutely. No excuse. None at all. Look, I noticed some people are zoomed out. Some people are teamed out. Especially some people go to work and that's all they do. They be on Zoom and all this Teams and all these other apps all day long. I get it. Some people don't want to be on a screen any more than they have to. But you should. It's not that hard. I do a little bit of Teams at work. I do a couple meetings pretty much every day. And then after that, I come home and I'll have another Teams meeting or another Zoom meeting with family. It's not that hard. You cut out a TV show, cut out one little TV show that you were going to watch. You can get together with your friends and your family instead. Remember, it's important. It is important. It is important. Look at the Bible. Look at the stories of the Bible. Look at, throughout the Bible, Old Testament, New Testament. And if you want to be one of those people who want to be specific on Jesus, look at Jesus. None of these situations you really saw people who just walked alone, walked by themselves, did not have the company of family, friends, whoever. You rarely see somebody who walked alone. And there's a reason for that, because we weren't built to be alone. You even look at right there at the beginning, man was not made to be by himself. So let's continue to be like that. Let's continue to know that we're supposed to be in community and supposed to be in relationship with others. But let's remember that for most of us, that starts with our family. And that's tough because those are some of the people that, we didn't get to choose them, but they're still your family. And so let's start there and just make an effort to make every day or a holiday or make a holiday all the time. All right. Well, thank you for the comments. That was really good. All the comments that came in, a bunch of them too. So that was great, actually. I hope that that's something to chew on. You can take back. Think about it. And even if you're not a big holiday celebrator, I ain't celebrating those holidays. Thanksgiving and pilgrims. You don't need any of that to still enjoy this particular topic. You don't have to be big in the holidays or anything like that to enjoy this topic and still need to get with family and friends. All right. As always, we'll be here on Tuesdays. And as a reminder, on Thursdays, we have Thursday Thirst, our weekly Bible study. It has been great. Please join us. That starts at 7 o'clock here on YouTube and Facebook. And on Sundays as well, 10 o'clock. Right here on Facebook and YouTube, and also at the address on the screen. If you are in the area, please feel free to stop by. It's nothing better than to be able to worship in person. And every week here, right before we start at 7 o'clock, from 7 to 7:45, we have prayer. And so please feel free to join us with that. If you want to have your prayer concerns, call them in. You can call them in at the number here. And feel free to do that. Thank you. And as always, we'll be here next week. Thank you for joining us. Have a good one. And we'll see you again. Good night.